In season 1, Vartika became a hero. In season 2, she becomes human. Also, in season 1, there was no wavering of moral compass. There was nothing. It was just pointed, single-focused, I will get these guys. Over here, she's left to question a lot of things around her.
We always notice that about women. We always notice that a family is being supportive to a woman. But we never notice when we are anyway being supportive to a man. How much will she do? I've seen her in everything. No.
Everything. Abhi darling khatam hua, uske pehle.
Yeah. Take a break.
How much has the characters evolved? Rasika, for you?
Well, I think Neeti in season 2 is far more jaded than Neeti in season 1.
Oh.
Neeti in season 1 was wide-eyed and wanting to impress Vartika all the time. Now she knows what Vartika's soft points are. But there's still a lot of respect. Now there might not be a need to impress, but a need to not let her down. But I think in season 2, she's really trying to navigate her personal life and her professional life. And we see the ups and downs of that. And I thoroughly enjoyed that track of the show in this season.
Another thing, Shefali, your character has also evolved over here. So, and what are your specific changes that you would like, that we will see in season 2 of Delhi Crime?
If I had to explain this in one line, Lachmi, in season 1, Vartika became a hero. In season 2, she becomes human. She's flawed, she falters, but she doesn't shy away from apologizing and trying to correct it. Also, in season 1, there was no wavering of moral compass. There was nothing. It was just pointed, single-focused, I will get these guys. Over here, she's left to question a lot of things around her. She's left to question whether what she's doing is right, because the proof points a finger towards a correct procedural, but then there is her emotional and moral dilemma of, are we jumping too fast to a conclusion? And finally, who is responsible for what is going on?
And Rajesh, how much has your character, are you still as loyal to Vartika?
Oh my God, Vartika and Bhupi are inseparable. They're like soul connects, I think.
ये तो नहीं हो सकता कभी भी किसी भी सीजन में.
So how much is your character changed in season 2?
देखिए वो अभी तक स्ट्रगल कर रहा है अपनी बेटी के साथ. जो भी रिलेशनशिप है वो अभी तक बेटी को ठीक से समझ नहीं पाया है, ना बेटी उसको समझ पा रही है. हाँ, बट ही इज स्ट्रगलिंग ऑन दैट फ्रंट. बाकी जो ऑफिशियली या ड्यूटी के जो भी डायलेमास होते हैं वो तो वही झेल रहा है. विद एवरी केस इज अ डिफरेंट चैलेंज.
The baby will get married in this season?
Wait and watch, we'll invite you.
शादी के लड्डू.
वर्तिका ने छुट्टी दी तो
शायद कुछ हो पाए. Exactly. वो ना छुट्टी लेती है ना किसी को छुट्टी देती है.
And Rasika, how much has it changed? You got married in this show. And how much has things changed in your family front? I see your mother-in-law run the way with your gari and does for vegetable shopping for official car. So how much has things changed? Does things become I wouldn't ask too much of it. How much is that front will be showed, your family front?
A lot of it actually, and that's a track that, like I said earlier, is something that I really enjoyed as a performer to graph it along with this lovely actor who plays my husband, Akash Dahiya. It was an absolute treat to work with him on that. And I think that is a very big part of Neeti's life. I don't think she realized what she was getting into either on the professional front or on the personal front. And both of them are sort of overwhelming her, and both of them together are sort of overwhelming her, and she's really trying to balance both out. So you'll see a lot of that through the season. And I think that track really spoke to me because it really sort of is something that we see around us very, very often. All of us have seen women trying to navigate this every day. We do it all the time, in smaller ways, in bigger ways. And so that track really spoke to me because it really is not fair to have to navigate so much to just get through a day,
And Vartika, how much is your daughter? She moved to Canada. What I can understand from the first episode, how much of her bit will be shown in this particular
Well,
show?
we can't describe the importance of her life or these characters by the screen time that they have. You know, even if it's not shown a lot, it's a constant. They contribute in
Obviously.
making who she is. Also, there is this thing of a child being away from home. It's a very big one for the child as well. I think more for the parent, and
Yeah.
and to be misunderstood. You know, when you're trying to do a FaceTime call or a voice call, a lot of things can be misunderstood in that. And then, of course, it takes longer to kind of reconcile with it. So there is, I think she's dealing with what every parent at some point of time deals with, where there is a growing child who wants her independence, whose only way of response is probably retaliation. And but at the same time, you know, one of the very important moments in the show come from her, where she puts it in writing for her mother as to who she is. I mean, Vartaka's put into a quandrum where she herself can't look at herself with a correct perspective and say, what, I don't know what, am I right or am I wrong? And I don't know what to do. And she puts it in perspective. But I think she has, I mean, her husband is one of the most supporting husbands I've ever seen in my life. Film mein,
Exactly.
TV mein, real life mein, you know, so yeah.
Exactly. Actually, they also enable the family of yours that's shown, what I can understand. They enable you to what you have become today.
Absolutely, absolutely. They play a huge part in who she is. And not just her family at home, her family at her work. These people make her who she is. They make her richer, they make her stronger.
And you know, we always notice that about women. You know, we always notice that a family is being supportive to a woman, but we never notice when we are anyway being supportive to a man. And the subtlety with which her and my track is sort of juxtaposed in
Yeah.
that way is sort of, you know, talking about these everyday things that we go through and we learn to normalize, and that's not fair.
And Jessica, but your character shows a lot of it that where your husband is supporting you, but not supporting you. Again, money, it's getting a little difficult for you to meet up with their official expectations because there is not a complete support kind of thing. Nobody actually understands the job requirements, what I could make out.
Yes, you will see a lot of that, and I don't want to spoil it for you, so I don't want to tell you where that's going to go. But what I like about Delhi Crime, even in season 1 and season 2, is all of these things. The everyday sort of sexism that women face in their lives is very there while telling the story of a crime. You know, the show doesn't forget to tell these stories, and that's what I find very rewarding every time I watch the show as an audience, that it tells the story of Bhupi and his daughter. It tells the story of Vartika and Chandu. It tells the story of Neeti and her husband, you know, while they are busy trying to investigate a very serious crime. So it doesn't forget to sort of point towards these things in a very beautiful way.
And you have, all of you, OTT has become a big medium. And Rasika, you had started, I think, with OTT. You've done quite a few shows. And I still remember your banana bread during the pandemic.
Thank
you. So, like OTT has given you the exposure. Or do you really believe that the exposure that all actors have been craving for years?
Definitely, it's changed my life in a big way, and for many actors around me.
Good.
And the good thing is that there seems to be room for everybody still. It's not that there were 5 shows which did well and only those actors were then stars, and then there was no room for anybody else. That's not the case. Every week there's a new show which does well, which gets an audience, which has a wide audience, and there's new talent discovered through that show every time. So I'm happy that it's still a growing democratic space where there is room for newness. And I think that's very healthy, even for people who, like me, who started a couple of years back and had a few successful shows. I think it's important for also me to be kept on my toes that, hey, there's a new show and why am I not in it? And now there are new actors. So I think it's a healthy competitive space. And I hope that it continues to be that. And it also seems to me that there is room for all sorts of genres. That's exciting to me because you get to then experiment with different kinds of material rather than one kind of show becoming formula and becoming the thing that gets viewership. I don't think that's happening in the OTT space yet. There are different kinds of genres which are equally popular, and that's what is exciting to me. This year I've done a sports drama series and a horror show, both new genres for me. And so lots of interesting stuff is still being made and continues to be. So I'm very very grateful for the OTT space.
Rajesh, how has OTT helped you and your journey in the entertainment industry? How has it been with the coming in of the streaming platforms?
अगर सच कहूँ तो मुझे बहुत एज एन एक्टर एक्सप्लोर करने का मौका ठीक से ओटीटी में ही मिला. मतलब मैं करता रहा, सीरियल्स भी करता रहा, फिल्म्स भी करता रहा, बट एज एन एक्टर मैं अपने आप को एक्सप्लोर कर पाया, अपने आप को लोगों तक पहुंचा पाया जस्ट बिकॉज ऑफ ओटीटी. और ओटीटी की खासियत ये है कि इसकी कहानियां सारी प्रोटेगनिस्ट के अराउंड नहीं रिवॉल्व करती हैं.
बिल्कुल,
बाकी कैरेक्टर्स को भी राउंडेड होते हैं, सब प्लॉट्स पे भी पूरा काम होता है. तो आई थिंक एवरी एक्टर गेट्स टू परफॉर्म इन, मतलब gets a chance to perform.
Shefali, OTT doesn't box you or box any actors or craftsmen for the matter. What do you have to say about that? Because you've never followed that formula of getting boxed. You've done all kind of roles before, even before OTT had come in.
But the OTT platform gives you, so I say this, that the OTT platforms are about explore, experiment, express, and unabashedly so. So, you, like Rajesh correctly said, that yahan par it's not one single lead. It's an ensemble, and it's 8 hours of film where you can create these characters. And the need is for actors, not for stars. So it's great. And look at the content. Look at the stories. Look at the characters. They're wide, they're human, they're real, they're berserk, they're absurd. And it doesn't have to follow any norms of the box office requirement. That जो box office का ये एक डब्बा है कि ये stars होने चाहिए, hero होना चाहिए, heroine होनी चाहिए, fight sequence होना चाहिए, villain होना चाहिए, song dance होना चाहिए, इतना number collection होना ही चाहिए. So it breaks all of it. So it gives you that freedom to really explore and unapologetically experiment with it and express it. And as a student of cinema, as a viewer, I can sit at home and watch so much content from world over. It's like, wow.
It's therapeutic.
It's like, masterclass. Where are you going tonight? Masterclass.
Great learning experience for us also, because we did not get that much of exposure before the coming in of OTT. So much of content. We cannot do it, every film festivals once in a while. There are a lot of formats also that is coming in, anthologies, audio shows, because of the streaming, and digital plays. How many times do we actually go and watch them? But because of the OTT content-wise, it's become really good. And Shefali, sorry, what are the future projects that you're working on after Delhi Crime?
How much will she do? I've seen her in everything.
No, everything. Abhi darling, khatam hua. Uske pehle.
Take a break.
No, I'm itching to get back to work. Because whatever I did was last year, which is getting released this year. I started with Human releasing, and then there was Jalsa, then Darlings, and then DC now. I've done 2 more projects, which I did last year again. I did this film called Dr. G, which is very sweet, sensitive, funny script. It's a small role. It's just a guest appearance. But it was a lovely script, and it was a commitment I'd made long ago. So that is one. And then there's this other film I did, which is beautiful, and I'm really looking forward to it, is 3 of Us, which is directed by Avinash Arun. He won the National Award for Killa. And it's got Swanam Kirkire, and it's got Jaydeep Alawat and me.
Wow.
It's a very beautiful love story. Yeah, that's it. And I'm itching to get back to work.
Jaideep Pelawat, again, you're going back with the anthology that I last saw.
Yeah, but this is it's a film also. It's first going to do the festival circuit, and then
Cool.
it'll release wherever, whenever.
Or maybe theatrical also. Let it be, let that be.
No. If I knew it, I would tell you, but even I don't know. So that's why I'm not being secretive about it.
No, it's okay. Thank you so much for your time, Rasika. And thank you so much for your time, Shefali and Rajesh. It was great talking to all of you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye. Bye.